Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Blizzard Entertainment presents Midnight, the newest expansion for World of Warcraft. Midnight calls every hero home to Azeroth. All paths lead to this moment. Xalatath rises, the Void follows, and the Sunwell stands in peril. Raiders, explorers, storytellers, newcomers, and legends alike. This is your world, your story, your moment. Because Azeroth is home, and home is always worth fighting for. Pre-purchase now at worldofwarcraft.com.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And what an interesting weekend. This is what real leadership looks like. The President of the United States, Donald Trump. Dominic Carter here with you. Hope you folks had a great weekend. The number to reach us live over the course of the next 2 hours, 800-848-9222. Chants all across America of President Trump, we love you, from people from Iran that happen to be here in America, calling for the end to the Islamic regime in Iran, as in New York, they march to the UN.
President Trump, we love you. 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 President Trump, we love you.
And so that happened all across the country. People that not necessarily are Republicans, but people from Iran cheering for the President of the United States. Decisive action. This is what real leadership looks like. The Ayatollah is gone. But the repercussions. Authorities are investigating, for example, in Texas, what may have already been a falling out of what happened in Iran. Mass shooter in Austin, a 53-year-old West African immigrant from Senegal who had apparently had a Quran in his vehicle, and he was caught on the video wearing a Property of Allah hoodie during the rampage. And unfortunately, 3 people dead, many others hurt, and this is what it sounded like.
Oh my God! What is going on?
Again, this is what real leadership looks like. What did Biden and Kamala do as it relates to Iran? Don't. That was their policy. Don't. They were laughing at you. Trump tried to work with you. He tried to work out a deal. You thought he was joking around. And so now you see the results of this as he has eliminated the supreme leader. Extensive bombing again of Iran. And the other shoe to this is we don't know what the repercussions are going to be. But the U.S. could not sit around forever, all these years, tolerating this slogan, if you will, death to America. President Trump urging the remaining military members in Iran, the regime, to surrender or face certain death. Now, as we localize this issue, and I got the opportunity, folks, this weekend to spend some time in New Jersey. I'll tell you about that at the bottom of the hour. But the former mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, and Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, they're slamming Mamdani. Now, you already know what his position on this is going to be, because he shows us every day that he's not really for America. And so Eric Adams and the Nassau County Executive pointing out that you can't just refer to something and only tell half the story, which is what Mamdani is doing. He's telling their side of the story, not pointing out what has happened, what has been done by this horrible regime. 800-848-9222. This President Trump making the announcement.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now, it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries.
President Trump making the announcement. And again, folks, what did Biden and Kamala do as it relates to Iran? They said, don't. What does Trump do? He gets the job done. He gets the job done. So we'll see what happens going forward. But the people that are from Iran, they are thankful at what President Trump has done. Case in point, listen to this man and woman talking to a reporter.
It's been 47 years of this tyranny. I've been coming to this federal building since the 1980s, since the Islamic Republic of Iran has been in power. They are the most barbaric terrorist organization in the entire world. With them gone, the world will be a better place.
It's time for the world to breathe. It's time for the Iranian people to go to where they're supposed to go, to really free themselves from this darkness. The world is going to be in a better place. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Israel. We love you. The world is going to be in a much better place as of today. And we don't know how to thank Israel and President Trump. All I can tell you is I've been living for 47 years. And the future of everybody in the whole world depended on this regime being gone. And now they're gone. Now that they're gone, we can finally breathe. I don't know how to thank President Trump as much as I'm speechless. I am speechless, but I'm hoping the end is finished and we're going to live to see the new future for the world and the Iranian people and everybody around the world, not just Muslims, Christian, Jews, all of us. We need to get along and make the world a better place.
Do you still have family in Iran?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you been able to speak with them at all?
As of yesterday, no, but from what we've seen is they are celebrating everywhere in Iran. They're not afraid. They don't have anything to lose anymore. These people will go out of their way. They have nothing to lose. They're so fearless. For the first time, nobody's left Tehran. Where before in the previous war, they were told to leave Tehran. No one's left Tehran. They want to finish the job and get it over with.
800-848-9222. Pick any state, any city across America this weekend, Saturday morning, this morning, and the reaction of people from Iran is basically what you just heard. For example, this man born in Iran, Patrick Bet David, he appeared on Fox News.
History books are going to write about this, and many of us will be able to say we were living during this time, but maybe they need to put a little spot in this place called South Dakota. They call it Mount Rushmore because during the last 100 years, I don't know a president that's done what he's done, and you got to give him credit for it. And every once in a while in your life, you face somebody that when they threaten you, they're not kidding. They're serious when they say, if you don't do this, I will hit you. I will attack you. No, they're not going to do anything. You don't do that with Trump and his administration.
And to those of you that may think that this president is not serious, do you still think that? Or is he delivering on each campaign pledge that he made during his run for office? Dominic Carter here with you. We have a lot to talk about. We see all of your calls, but Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, I want you to hear his full statement, what he actually had to say. And then we're starting with your telephone calls.
How do you square the no war promise with the potential of a protracted war?
Well, first of all, the president has consistently, over the course of his entire public life, said he will never permit the Iranian regime to have a nuclear weapon. That's why he took action last summer, and that's part of the reason.
The one that I'm looking for, Matt Blaze, it says here SOT 19, but that's not it. So we'll get that for you momentarily, folks. Let's Mr. Mamdani's actual statement, but let's start with your telephone calls here. Let's see. Let's begin with Mike, line 5 in New Jersey. Mike, good evening on this Sunday night. What's on your mind?
Hi, good evening, Dominic. So good to be on the show. I was just wondering if you could give me some insight. We've seen so much happening in Iran recently. It's just unbelievable. But is there any work on organizing a leader or some sort of organization for the people to rally behind? Because, all these Iranian people, they're ready for a change. I just don't see their plan, how it's going to go about. Do we have a
Mike, you're raising an excellent point. I can only tell you. So, for example, on 60 Minutes tonight, they had the guy that's basically been exiled, and he's living in Paris. And they're saying that he may fill in temporarily, and he's going back past the 47 years in which Iran was somewhat different. It wasn't what it is now, right? And so they're saying that he may be the temporary leader, but there are reports that the CIA, they've already mapped out who are the potential leaders, and there are reports that it may be a hardliner. I don't want to speculate because I don't know the answer, but I would tell you this much. President Trump is always playing a game of chess, and I'm sure they would not make this move without knowing that hopefully it would be better. So we will see how this is all going to play out. Thank you very much for the call. Let's go to line 2, Max in Manhattan. Max, what's on your mind?
Dominic, thank you for taking my call. Apart from Iran being told that apart from us being told that Iran is a threat to Western civilization, I think we should also take in mind that right now there are other parts of the world that are having Western civilization threatened, like in England or like in France. There are a lot of women that are getting raped from the Islamicists, and it's not making the news, especially in England. They got 16-year-old girls getting raped, and when you go and you point it out, you call the police, oftentimes the police will arrest you. So
wait, Max, what does that have to do with what's going on in Iran?
Because Iran, we've been told, it was a threat to Western civilization. So I'm pointing out there are other parts of the world that are also have threats to Western civilization.
But that I don't even see that as on the radar screen right now. We're dealing with a world situation that can impact all these countries. I'm not saying that that's not an important issue, but it's not even. I don't even see it as relevant to the discussion right now.
Well, it's showing. I'm trying to illustrate that there are other threats. The same threat exists in other areas of the world. So maybe we took care of this threat in Iran today. That's fine. But there are other threats that are not making the news.
And as long as this is going on, it's not going to make the news because it's just not. I'm not minimizing it. I'm just saying that on the scale of importance, what's going on in Iran, this just doesn't relate. But thank you for the telephone call. Let's go to Robert in North Carolina, line 4. Robert, what's on your mind?
Good evening, Dominic. Trump is doing the right things. Every Republican guard position, facility that's hit by Trump with air power and other means is one that the people of Iran are going to take over, grab weapons and ammunition, and take their country back. They'll be able to fight for themselves.
And that's a great thing. But Robert, are you concerned about lone wolves attacks here in the U.S.? I mean, look at what just happened in Austin. Authorities have not said definitively that it's terrorism related, but it sure looks that way.
We have to be vigilant.
Yeah, we have to be vigilant. What does your heart tell you before I move on to the next call?
It is a heightened possibility, and we have to protect ourselves from it if it might happen.
Fair enough, Robert. Thank you for the call. Let's go to line 3. Jimmy in Rhinebeck, New York. Jimmy, good evening on this Sunday night. What's on your mind?
Good evening, dude. Thanks, man. What a show tonight. I just wonder how the guy got into the country. He's not from America. He was born.
When you say the guy, you're referring to the Austin shooter. I don't know what you're referring to.
Yes, the Austin shooter. Yes.
Right.
So we can stop it, whether it was a visa or maybe amnesty, because our country, you know that our country's great. We help people out and bring them here.
Well, the good thing about President Trump, I don't have the definitive answer for you right now.
That's cool,
Jimmy,
man. I'm learning, dude.
But thank you. But I can say this. This is why. This is one of the reasons why this president was elected, to put an end to this stuff of people just coming into the country. And so, and I'm looking at this on a world stage, what happened, and it seems like Friday nights into Saturday morning, that's when this administration carries out military action. We wake up and boom, it has happened. And the president was in Florida. He's now back at the White House. What I'm looking at is the message this sends on a world stage to other leaders, good people and bad people. To everyone, it says, don't mess with the USA. Don't mess with Trump. He's not Biden. He's not one of these Democrats. He means what he says and says what he means and carries it out. Thank you very much for your telephone call. Let's go to Rita, line 4, New Jersey. Rita, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Thank you for taking my call. I missed you. So I want to say that Donald Trump is as we say, the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
And he just, and really the greatest president of our time. Like our time meaning at least since I've been on this earth more than 5 decades.
Leadership, real leadership.
Absolutely. You got to give that man respect. And I absolutely cannot believe these fools that are talking about, they support Iran. They support the Ayatollah. I mean, it's just these young kids that don't know from left and right. It's just, I don't understand.
They have no idea. Yeah. They don't know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
They believe in stick it to the man and all of that nonsense. And Rita, yes. You can't win every battle, and you can't pay attention to everyone that wants a megaphone that has something to say. Think they have something to say.
Right. I do want to say one thing though. So you brought up the game of chess, and this relates to the Ayatollah. In that, so checkmate in chess, means it's actually a word that originated from Persia, from Iran, even though the game originally, started in India, but it was modernized in Iran. But anyway, Shah, even though not speaking of the Reza Pahlavi, but Shahmat in Persia means your king is dead. And that's what the Ayatollah is. He's dead. And,
it's
it
as
was
simple
all
as
a game of
that.
chess.
And to show his businessman skills, President Trump tried to work with this person. For all the evil in this Ayatollah, supreme leader, whatever term you want to use for him, and I don't mean to be disrespectful of the dead, but he's dead now. President Trump gave him the opportunity to work with him. Listen, you're never going to get a nuclear weapon. It's not going to happen. And all of this down with America and death to America. And our president, and this is why I think he's in the White House today, our president said, really, is that what you think? Death to America? Well, we'll see whose death is going to be to. And so he's no longer with us. Rita, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Martin, line 3, upstate New York on this Sunday night. Martin, good evening. What's on your mind?
Good morning there, Dominic. I wanted to say I've heard that there's these people. The people are out here saying that Trump is wrong for what he did. Good riddance to bad rubbish. This regime in Iran is the worst, most brutal, most demonic load of demons there ever was. And so, therefore, I believe that is a great thing that Trump has done.
Well, I certainly think it's a great thing. You talk to Democrats and they're saying, okay, but what's going to be the retribution? What's going to happen here in America? But so does that mean we as a country we're supposed to sit around forever with this Ayatollah disrespecting America whenever he felt like it? No, it's a new day.
In America is because Biden let these people in here. If something happens here, it's because there's a sleeper cell of demons here in America.
Right. Martin, thank you for the call. That I do worry about what's here currently, sleeper cells. But what should make us all feel a little better. You can't stop someone a lone wolf that's determined to do something. But you already know with this president, there will be serious repercussions, and I mean serious. And any individual considering doing something like that, now if they want to, if they don't care, they lose their own life. There's nothing really you can do. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is this president is no joke. And when I woke up Saturday morning, the first thing I said when I saw the headlines overnight, I said, this is my president. This is what I voted for. I didn't vote for a president that, when it comes to Iran, to say, don't. And for a vice president that's not qualified by any means to back up the message of don't. Iran laughed at that. Do you think the regime is laughing now? I don't think so. Dominic Carter here with you. We see all your telephone calls. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with more of your calls. I'm also going to bring you to New Jersey. I spent part of the weekend in Nutley, New Jersey, meeting with some wonderful folks and a woman by the name of Lisa, who is a great community activist, organizer. I'm going to bring you a little bit of our conversation. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And Dominic Carter here with you. So much to get to. We have the situation in Iran. We have what may be a retaliatory attack, mass shooting in Austin, Texas. Worst type of situation you can imagine. Crowded bar scene, horrible. The actual video, people begging, help me, please. You see people trying to do CPR to individuals that are unconscious. You saw a police officer leaning his body all the way into the compressions for CPR as there was blood all over a man's head. And, the suspect that was wounded, that was killed, had on a shirt that said Allah and apparently an undershirt that said something as it relates to Iran. And so that's part of what I'm dealing with this hour. The other part is I had a part of a great weekend in New Jersey. And so I'm going to take one or two more calls, and I'm going to tell you about New Jersey, and then we're going to go back to Iran. So let me see. Let's go to line 3, Joe in New Jersey. Joe, good evening on this Sunday night. What's on your mind?
Yeah, how you doing, Dominic? I agree with you. There's going to be a tax in the United States, and I have a feeling it's going to be. I know. I didn't
say that, Joe. I didn't say. Wait, please don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say there's going to be a tax. I said there's a concern. I have a concern. I didn't say it's definitely going to happen. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I feel that through this action, Islam will be offended. But whoa. So what was the alternative? To continue to let them disrespect us forever? What's the alternative? Well, being that they're an Islamic country.
No. Just please tell me what's the alternative. Joe,
Dominic, I got a scratchy line. I can't really hear you too good.
Okay, so what's the alternative? What's it? You're telling me they're an Islamic country. Are we supposed to sit around forever and let them flex and in the meantime get a nuclear weapon? What was the alternative, Joe?
Well, the alternative. Well, he did the right thing by going in, but there's going to be a repercussion from it. Though that's my feeling.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for the call. Let's go here. Let's go to Frank in Clifton, also in New Jersey. Line 2, Frank, what's on your mind?
Hey, good night, Dominic. 2 points I want to make. One is the media preys on the ignorance of many Americans that don't understand the history. At this point, we had Khobar Towers, hostages. You have a rogue country that not just threatens American lives, but follows through and has so much blood of thousands of American lives on their hands. And we're threatening that if they got a nuclear weapon, they wanted to, they believe in the 12th Imam, and they literally want to create a global nuclear war that wipes out humanity. Now, these are serious people that follow through on their threats. And you finally had a president who said, you are not going to be allowed the opportunity to fulfill this last part of what you seek to do. And then the other point is, like you said, this sends an international message. Right now, we're in serious negotiations with Cuba, the new regime in Venezuela, with Greenland. And now they know that Trump is a serious person with a lot of credibility. And that type of presence and authority inevitably will save thousands, if not millions of lives moving forward. And I hope he's credited.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. Frank, thank you for the great call. So Mamdani, all right, he's supposed to represent us, the people of America, of New York City. Listen to what the mayor, and you already know where this guy is coming from. Listen to what he has to say.
Today's military strikes by the United States and Israel mark a catastrophic escalation in an illegal act of war, of aggression. Bombing cities, killing civilians, opening up a new theater of war. Americans do not want this. Americans do not want another war in pursuit of regime change. We want an answer to the affordability crisis. We want peace. Now, I may be a young mayor, but I am old enough to remember the devastating consequences of our country's pursuit of regime change in this same region not that many years ago. Now, my focus is on keeping New Yorkers safe. I've been in close contact with our police commissioner and emergency management officials. We are increasing agency coordination as well as patrols of sensitive locations out of an abundance of caution. And additionally, I want to speak directly to Iranian New Yorkers. You are a part of the fabric of this city. You are our students, our artists, our small business owners, our neighbors, our community leaders. You will be safe here. Okay.
The mayor of New York City, Mamdani. Let me just divert for a few minutes here and talk about New Jersey. some interesting things that happened this weekend. We see your calls on Iran. We'll get back to them. So I got to spend some time in New Jersey, particularly in Nutley, New Jersey, this weekend, in which I met with a local businessman there, a great guy, former police officer, West Orange, New Jersey. His name, John Mancini. I got the opportunity to talk to a legendary world-class boxer by the name of Bobby Ches. And you'll be hearing the comments with Mr. Ches coming up in the days ahead. I got the opportunity as well to sit down with the public safety director of Nutley, and his name is Alphonse Petracco, and he's the commissioner of public safety, responsible for EMS, police, and fire. But I also got the opportunity to sit down with a great woman who is a community activist. Her name is Lisa Mandarecchio, and Lisa is an outstanding person. You know, we all meet people that are always willing to step up and do things for others, help others without them ever getting anything in return. So in Nutley, Lisa wears many hats, and she's doing a lot of things that are productive for the community. So I got the opportunity to sit down and talk to Lisa, and she's a strong Trump supporter. She does not support the governor of New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill. Neither does she support the Democrat governor of Virginia. And so she's very strong, again, in terms of her support of President Trump, but she's not big at all on the New Jersey governor. He is part of our conversation.
It's you don't care about the environment. You don't care about the people. You're more worried about DEI.
Which sets all of us back, particularly the people you're supposed to be helping.
That's it. And just like Trump said the other day, how do you represent other people when you should be representing the people of New Jersey or the people of your state or the people of this country, the real patriots? We're headed down a really bad road. And look what's going on in Virginia with Abigail Spanberger. You walk your dog, you have to pay taxes. You get your clothes dry cleaned, pay taxes. That's what we're afraid that's going to happen here.
When I say President Trump, and my firm belief that he will go down as perhaps the greatest president ever.
Absolutely.
You say?
Absolutely.
Why?
Shame on those who are passing judgment on a man they have not had a real sit-down conversation with. If you do hearsay and you're judging somebody because of what you're hearing, you need help. And if you can't see the man's background, if I remember the story correctly, Jennifer Hudson had family who were murdered.
Yes, she did. And
okay.
Trump came to her
and
aid.
Trump
and
came
she's
to
an
her
African-American woman.
Okay.
Not just her. He helped Jesse Jackson. He helped Nelson Mandela. I could go on and on. He helped Al Sharpton back in the day. He helped all these people. And then when he decides to run for president, he becomes, quote unquote, the biggest racist ever.
Selective amnesia is wonderful, isn't it? But they ought to be ashamed of themselves. This man is really, really trying. And you want to judge somebody by their family? Compare his children to Joe Biden's children. World of difference. And you really should look at that and then look in the mirror and say, well, what am I doing that's wrong? Why am I judging this man? On hearsay? It's scary. It's really, really scary. But look at the percentage of people that are doing that. All because I want to be a transgender. He hates us. No, he doesn't. Oh, he hates Jewish people. His son-in-law is Jewish. His daughter turned Jewish. He has 3 grandchildren that are Jewish. What do you not see that we see? I don't get it.
And that's Lisa Mandarecchio. Lisa is a community activist in Nutley, New Jersey. She gives and gives and gives. And she's going to be the subject of my podcast this week, a full conversation in which she talks about anything and everything from Trump to Democrat governors to the environment, you name it. She talks about it. And before we get back to Iran, and also, by the way, former Governor George Pataki sounding off on the situation with the snowballs thrown at NYPD officers. He appeared with our owner-operator, John Catsimatidis, on Mr. Catsimatidis' show this morning. All the newsmakers go to Mr. Catsimatidis' show, but you know that by now. I also talked to Lisa about, because I find people like this, I really believe, folks, that one person can change the world, right? And I'm not trying to make Lisa sound like she's a nun, but she goes to the supermarket and buys food to feed local animals in the area, birds and so on. She helps with the elderly. She goes over and above. And so I asked her, why does she do what she does, and why does she give back?
I don't need much. If I have it, I'll give it. Again, I don't need 2, 3, 4 cars. I don't need 2 or 3 houses. It's just more stressful. If I have something and I could just give it back, or if I have a connection that could help somebody, just like with you. You put it out there, you had a book, I reached out, I took a shot, and now you're meeting people who are your listeners, who I'm still getting calls for you to come back. If it puts a smile on somebody's face and I don't need it, I would rather just give it.
But you help senior citizens, you help young people. They don't make them like you, Lisa.
No. I wish they did. There are a lot out there. The best analogy I could give you is when women go shopping and you see a clearance rack and you go looking for that one shirt. You know it's there at a really good price, but you have to look for it. They're not teaching values anymore. They're not teaching family units anymore, where let's go to church or let's go to synagogue. They would rather just give their kid an iPad and do your thing. They're under a lot of pressure. These people are working 2, 3 jobs just to make ends meet. It's not easy, and we live in New Jersey. We need Doge in New Jersey, because it's horrible. It's horrible. So if I have it, I'll give it. If I could put a smile on somebody's face, I'll do it.
But I watch people carefully when they think that I'm not watching. And I'm not going to say most people have a hook. I'm not going to say most people have an agenda. But most people, they're looking for something in return. You're not like that. And she is definitely not like that. And Lisa will be she'll be the sole focus of my podcast this week. It'll be up and posted later on, and you can listen to the full conversation. She really is a remarkable person. And next hour, I'm going to chat with, we'll bring you part of my conversation with the Commissioner of Public Safety in the area, Nutley, New Jersey, and that's Alphonse Petracco. That's coming up next hour. But right now, I want to continue with your telephone calls. Let's go to line 1, Chris in the Catskills. Chris, what's on your mind?
Good evening, Dominic. I thought it was interesting, the press statement that Trump had. He was wearing a Democratic blue color tie and a blue sport jacket. I don't think that was by accident. Obviously there's some votes that are going to take place in Congress. And I saw this morning on CNN that John Fetterman, the senator from the state of Pennsylvania, is actually in support of this, that he's Jewish.
Wait, Chris, wait. Maybe you're on to something. But because the president wore a blue jacket and a blue tie, that means he's reaching out for Democrat votes?
No, I think he's looking for as much support as he can get.
But because he wore a blue tie, I want to make sure I got this right. You're telling me he wore a blue tie. I saw the clip, but I don't remember what color the tie was. And that means he's reaching out for Democrat votes. I think you're paying a little too much attention to politics, Chris.
Trump has his own style of marketing and branding, and I don't think he wore that by accident. I really don't. But I thought it was interesting that John Fetterman spoke about strong support of the action, He's of Jewish heritage. But if we look at recent history, George H. Bush expelled the Iraqi military out of Kuwait, and he chose not to send boots on the ground to, in order to go into Iraq and try and take them over. He told his General Schwarzkopf.
Chris, I'm late for a break. So what's the point you're trying to make?
That would be a good decision. We shouldn't put boots on the ground to expedite a regime change.
Well, who said we're looking at boots on the ground?
I'm just saying we shouldn't do that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for the call, Chris. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
800-848-9222. The situation in Iran. And let's continue with your telephone calls. Line 5, Norman in Brooklyn. Norman, good evening. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Dominic. Okay, I am absolutely joyous that President Trump has done this thing in Iran with Israel. I think it's great. I've had over the years as a trainer on the Upper West Side, I've had quite a few clients who are Persian. I mean, that's what they like to be called, not Iranian, because that links them up with the regime. I've had quite a few who are Jewish and Muslim, and I am only still friendly with one of them, and they're happy as hell. I mean, this is like Freedom Day is coming to Iran. I mean, this is Iran is a distinctly different place than the rest of the Mideast, with the exception of Israel. They are not Arabic. Okay, they speak a language. It's called Farsi. They have a different religion. It's not the same Islam that you see everywhere else. Mamdani, our mayor, should keep his mouth shut because the people there are actually, I think that they welcome this. They were hijacked in '79 by this, bunch of bums, the Ayatollahs. This is not the spirit of the Iranian people. It is quite telling that the jihadist that was in Texas was not Persian. He was Senegalese. Okay, I'm not seeing. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that in this country. I don't see
sleeper cells.
I think they cut the head off of the snake.
Norman,
I'm sorry.
Norman, you don't see sleeper cells that may already be here as a problem?
No, I'm not worried about it. I mean, we have to do our job, obviously, FBI and all that, but nope. I think that they were dealt a very serious blow. I think change is going to come. I'm very positive to what's going on there. I'm very positive, and I'm not really concerned about that. I think this is a dying animal is a very dangerous animal, and what they're doing now, they're shelling Israel, whatever remaining military they have there, and they're shelling the UAE and Saudi and all that. I mean, they're reacting to the Arab world. The Arab world is completely behind us. I mean,
Norman,
the Arab world is completely behind Norman, the U.S. and Israel. Of course, they can't officially say that. But yeah, they're behind us.
Norman, are you listening? Norman, are you listening? You're just talking over me. I'm trying to ask you a question.
Dominic. It's kind of I'm hearing you quite low, so I apologize if I'm not. So what do you say? I'm sorry.
No. What I wanted to ask you before I go to Jeff in Manhattan. Sure. Is so you said that the people that you've talked to that are from Iran, that they're happy and that's what all the media accounts are indicating throughout the country. So yes. Why are Democrats so denounceful of what the president has done, showing real leadership here?
Because the Democrats are completely immoral. I mean, they don't care that the Iranian regime has murdered somewhere between 40,000 people. Innocent people have been gunned down, and they don't give a damn. So they don't give a damn about that. Of course, they're going to skew the vision of this. They hate Trump, and they are stupid. This is the thing about the American left. They are stupid. They don't know anything about history, okay? And they do as they're told. You know, they did as they were told during COVID. They're doing as they're told now. And their monkey leadership, the idiots that are running them, whatever they are, Schumer, whatever, that's it. That's all they care about is maintaining power. And the only way they think they can do it is to knock Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump is as great as George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. He's, you know, to me, he's up there. Okay, and I'm not looking through rose-colored glasses here.
I got
okay?
you.
I'm just examining achievement. Okay,
I got
and
you.
this
And thank you. And thank you for the call. I got you, Norman. I'm just short on time, and I'm trying to get one or two more calls in. Let's go to line 2, Jeff in Manhattan. Jeff, good evening. Almost good morning, but hope you had a great weekend. What's on your mind?
Yes, you too. Hey, Dom, that was a very telling quote that you played from Mandami. I hope you'll play it again, because he expressed concern about the people that died from the American action. That pales in comparison to the number of people, Iranians, that died from their own government killing them, including a woman who didn't want to wear a veil and stuff like that. How come Mandami doesn't say anything? And actually, while I was waiting to speak, and you were just speaking to this Norman, and you asked why the Democrats didn't say anything, and Norman actually said something I agree with, and it answers your question. When have you seen the Democrats express outrage about Iran government, you know, the one that we just took out the Ayatollah from, killing their own people? No, they express outrage about the much smaller number of people that died in the American, attack on Iran. That's not good. But again, it's like when you have security or something anywhere, and there's someone that wants to do harm to you and the people you're protecting. If you have to take them out, you take them out. Far more people die from the Iranian government that is being, under fire by the U.S. and Israel than by the U.S. or Israel. But all these Democrats, as you asked Norman, don't say anything. And the other thing in that great quote, very telling quote you played about Mandami, he expressed solidarity with the Iranians in New York. What about the Jews in New York? What about the Christian Arabs in New York? What about people from other Middle Eastern, countries in New York? Only the Iranians. Very telling. I'm glad you played that, Dominic.
Well, Jeff, thank you. Thank you for the great... Hey, Jeff, I only have a few seconds left for this first hour. What do you think is the next shoe to drop quickly here in this situation worldwide as it relates to Iran and perhaps America?
I don't know. I'm not going to guess because I don't know as much as you on this, and so I'm not going to give an uninformed opinion. I wish I knew, but I hope that that there's a government in Iran that comes in that is pro-Western,
Right. And I think that's what we all are hoping for. Folks, hour number 2 is coming up.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And good morning. We see your telephone calls from Philadelphia to Florida and Westchester in New York, 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you. And all the Biden administration said to Iran was don't. What kind of leadership or message was that? What we have now in the White House is a real leader. The world officially knows that the U.S. is not to be messed with or played with, and that is because of the great leadership of President Trump. And I've told you folks this before, and I mean it now more than ever. He has a real shot at going down in history as the greatest president ever. But we go from good to bad. The good, President Trump took care of Iran and the Ayatollah, the supreme leader. And around the country, like in D.C., the streets were flooded with people cheering for guess who? President Trump. It was like that all over the country this weekend. But now the bad, the situation in Austin, Texas, 3 dead, mass shooter, the shooter, the alleged shooter here from Senegal, West African immigrant and or migrant, I should say, and he had on a shirt that said "Property of Allah," a hoodie, and the horrible situation in Austin.
Oh my God! What is going on?
And all of those beeps are people that were hysterical as the bullets were flying, people that they were out having a drink with were laying down dead on the floor or injured, shot. Total pandemonium in Austin, Texas. I'm about to start with your telephone calls in a moment. We're going to start with Liz in Florida in just a moment. But I want you to listen to how even CBS, how they are covering what happened as far as the situation in Iran.
The Iranian people, what are you hearing from them tonight? We know they're celebrating. What's the feeling?
It's an incredible dissonance that they had to choose war over a regime, but they were willing to do it. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Benjamin Netanyahu. Thank you, America. It's not death to America after they killed the leader. The Americans and the Israelis did it. It's not death to Israel and death to America. It's thank you. It's a new day dawning, but very early days. Very, very early days. So we'll have to see what comes. But it's the Iranian people that have been telling me over and over and over again, we want this. We're not regimists. We're not Islamic. I don't even say, oh, my God, to my Iranian friends because they don't want God to be any part of this.
800-848-9222. Let's begin with Liz in Florida. Line 4. Good morning, Liz. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. First, I want to say it is so sad what happened in Austin. It's just very sick, mentally ill people out there. And I think it's so much worse because of the internet. Now I want to say that we are so lucky to be able to see history in the making. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. President Trump is a hero, my hero, the world's hero. What he did had guts, Dominic. And we had no choice but to wipe out the regime in Iran. Every missile sent to Israel was initiated by Iran. The Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, all proxies of Iran. My daughter, who lives in Israel, with my 3 grandchildren and my son-in-law, running back and forth to the Mamad, that's a safe room. Can you imagine what that would be like if, God forbid, it happened here? And how apropos it also happened right before Purim. That's no coincidence. And, you know, we just read this Shabbos where we needed to hear God remind us to wipe out Amalek, or enemies of the Jews. And now the enemies are being wiped out, and the world will be a safer place, not just for Israel, but for the world. And there's less evil in the world right now. But we just need to educate these generations in the world right from wrong.
So, Liz, I'll ask you the same question that I asked of Norman and Brooklyn and others. And of course, it's pure reactionary. But why are Democrats, why are they doing what they always do, even in this situation?
It's this, Norman was right. It's a simple thing, is that, first of all, the Democrats will never agree with Trump about anything. They are just, I think, really mentally ill. I think there's something so wrong with them. And to even ask that question, I can't even describe. They're mentally ill. That's all I can tell you. Because no matter what President Trump will do, like you said many times, he could cure cancer, and they'll find a problem with that. They just have a hatred for Trump, and they don't know right from wrong, and that's a simple answer.
And the reason why I asked you is that you're always positive. You always find the silver lining in any situation. But to go from Biden and Kamala and don't to President Trump stating, I'll have a negotiation with you. Oh, you think I'm playing with you? Time for negotiation is over. Here comes the bombs. How do we go from don't to real leadership?
I think they were getting money from Iran. I mean, Obama sent billions of dollars in cash without anybody knowing. There was something going on there, and which was illegal. So that's my feeling. And they also wanted the votes, and they felt, well, if we were pro-Israel, forget it, we won't get the votes. And you know what? They were afraid. But President Trump is not afraid of anybody. Nobody. So he did what was right.
There's no doubt about it. I just hope, Liz, I have to be completely honest with you. I just hope they won't be able to get to him with the Secret Service detail. I just hope for his family members that the Secret Service is increasing their protection details, because this is as serious gets now. And, you know, for his children, all his children, his grandchildren, the golfer, Tiffany, one of his daughters, Ivanka, all of his kids, his sons. I just hope they double, if not triple, their for the First Lady. Well, she gets a state-of-the-art detail. But Liz, thank you for the wonderful call. Thank you very, very much. We're going to be following this closely, and I'm sure you will as well in the days ahead. Let's go from Florida to Philadelphia and say good morning to Robert. Robert, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, it's good to talk to you, and I hope you had a good weekend, man.
I did. Did you? Wait, we'll get to the substance. Did you have a good weekend?
Dom, it was a bittersweet weekend. We celebrated my oldest son's birthday today. Dom, he turned 40. I can't believe, I know. Me and his mother said, 40, are you kidding me?
Wow.
I can't believe it. Yeah, but it was a great day, great weekend.
Hey, Robert, we'll get to the substance. Appreciate that, man, because what I'm learning more and more in life is that it's not even really, it's always about the money, but it's about the memories, the times, the small times that you have with family. That's what's important, right?
Can I share a corny moment with you? When I look at cards for my kids as they're older, I well up a little bit, because I'm thinking about all the years, you know what I mean, and the memories, and I'm reading the cards, and it touches me. I'm glad nobody's watching me.
Well, it's okay. It's okay to let down a few tears as a man. So what's on your mind this morning, Robert?
Two things. The first thing is, you're right in that it's hard to say what's going to happen, because there's divisions between Persians and Arabs, and there's divisions between Sunnis and Shia. So it's hard to see how everything's going to shake out. But I never thought I would see this happen, and hopefully one day when I look at the map, I'll see, instead of Iran, the Republic of Persia. That would be a beautiful thing. The second thing is, as you often point out, President Trump is playing 3D chess while everybody else is playing checkers, because it occurs to me that China has a real problem now, Dominic, because most of their oil was coming from Venezuela and Iran, because they were getting it cheap because they were ignoring the sanctions that were on that oil. They were paying less than $50 a barrel, okay? Now their only alternative is Russia, and I can promise you Mr. Putin isn't going to charge them $50 a barrel. They're going to be paying market rates. So they have a problem right now. And please, I know that this was a big consideration when they were when they were planning this. They knew this was going to affect China, and that's why it's such a brilliant move. And while all this is going on, Mr. Trump is playing golf, Dominic. And you know, when they said the attack has started, his first word was, for. Do you know what I mean? He's enjoying his life while he's putting our enemies, the world's enemies, through hell in just a brilliant fashion. And every day I am floored by what this man is accomplishing, Dominic. That's all I have.
We agree on that, Robert. Thank you for the wonderful call. And the oil situation as it relates to China and so on. It's going to be interesting to follow that in the days ahead. Thank you, Robert, for the great call. Let's go to Charlie, line 3 in Westchester County. Charlie, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, how are you? I just wish that our leaders would make a point that Trump's actions are based on failed diplomacy. Now, I can go back to the 70s, and I'm sure you can.
That's a great point.
And everybody has kicked the can down the road, which everybody is always saying, and I constantly hear it, and I like when I hear that. But I wish that they would, as adults we know, but I wish they'd explain this to the young people in their 20s and 30s, to understand history, that this wasn't just like an ego trip, that this is dangerous. He's doing the right thing. And if you live life a little bit, you understand our safety. And the reason why we're Americans, we can live our lives from day to day and sit down and have a beer is because we're safe. And our military keeps us safe. And President Trump keeps us safe.
Absolutely, Charlie. And you're making a great point. I wish I could continue, but I'm up against a break.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And people from Iran that happen to be here in the U.S., around the country, all praising President Trump.
We want to say thank you to President Trump. This is the only person to support us in the last 50 years. Every single people in Iran knew that the only way that this regime is going to go away is that to attack them.
For the first time in their lives, many here are expressing optimism for a new life in Iran.
And so that is the situation. We're taking your telephone calls coming up in minutes. I'll talk to Matt Blaze. Plus, I'm going to go back to Nutley, New Jersey, the weekend that I had there. I'll be chatting with the commissioner of public safety there. His name, Alphonse Petracco. We'll bring you part of that conversation right now. You and I together on the phone, continuing. Let's go to Rob, line 1, Mayo Pack, New York. What's on your mind, Rob?
How you doing?
Good. Go right ahead, please.
Is the smartest Democrat senator. He's common sense, everything else.
Okay, wait. I didn't catch the first part. Who's the most common sense Democrat?
John Fetterman.
Absolutely. And they tried, and because he dared to agree with President Trump, they tried to say the man is mentally ill. He's nuts. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, before he was even running, before he even ran for president, he used to donate to all these guys.
Yes. You're talking about Trump now. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Rob, before I go to Silas, Staten Island, do you have any concerns as it relates to the situation in Iran?
Absolutely not. It should have been done a long time ago.
I hear you on that. But this is what happens when we have real leadership in the White House. Rob, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Silas, line 4, Staten Island. Silas, good morning. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are we had to take out dictators before in history. Thank God we've done it now. I've known Iranian people because I've moved them and taught with them. You hear it. They wanted this. They wanted to get out of their oppression, and he made the best move. We don't need to put him on Mount Rushmore. We need to build a monument to him right here in New York, somewhere in New York, a monument to Donald J. Trump, the greatest president in my lifetime. And just saying, the first days of his attack on Iran was done in Black History Month. So I want all blacks to understand, get off that get off that plantation. Why is it that me and you understand what the Democrats have done to us, and we still can't get American-born citizens to understand what danger the white liberal is, like Malcolm X said? Why is it that we can't get anybody else to understand that?
I've been, Silas, I've been thinking about that a bit. And you know why? Because it's hard for you, me, or anybody else with common sense to compete with free Similac. It's hard for us to compete with a rent subsidy. It's hard for us to compete with the welfare check. It's hard for us to compete with food stamps. And as long as the Democrats are saying here, they don't want to hear anything else.
Yeah, but they won't even study history. They won't even look into it. I mean, I understand that's a Mandami got in, and look what you got. The guy can't follow up with what he's promised. And
right. Well, he was never going to follow up with what he promised. Silas, great call, great points. Thank you very much. But I don't know about the statue of President Trump in New York. I would love it. But you know what the far left crowd would do here in New York. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
So the Ayatollah is gone, and the entire world knows it by now. President Trump has said this may go on, the bombing, for as long as perhaps 4 weeks. We'll get to that in just a second. With me and more of your telephone calls. With me right now, Matt Blaze. So, Matt,
yes.
How did you find out about this, first of all?
I found out in the morning
when you woke
news.
up.
Yeah, it was yesterday morning.
Did it surprise you?
Saturday morning? No, I mean, look, we've been talking about it. It's been talked about. We knew things were being moved around, so it wasn't a total surprise that it happened. And I don't. There's questions. There's concerns. I don't hate it. I mean, some people just hate it, and they don't really know what they're talking about when they say things about it's unconstitutional and he's got to ask Congress. Only Congress can declare war and blah 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 blah. You know, if you actually know what the War Powers Act of 1973 says, you would know. You would actually know what you're talking about, and I find it kind of ridiculous that every president has done some sort of airstrike or attack somebody, some country, everyone. And you didn't say anything then.
Right.
So now why are you
Obama
saying
did it, right.
Obama did it, Bush did it? I mean, Bush, we had a war, but I'm saying Clinton, they all airstrikes against somebody. So, and again, if people who don't understand what the War Powers Act says, and it basically says, the president is the commander-in-chief. He doesn't need to go to Congress beforehand and get permission, which would be totally stupid to tell the world what you're going to do because you don't want your
leaks.
Right. You don't want your enemies to know. So yes, the president can do it. Then there's some formal sort of you have to go to Congress and you have to tell them what you're doing and why and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to do it beforehand. So no, it's not unconstitutional. It's not like, oh my God, he's subverting the Constitution. When you have people in the country cheering, then you have to look at it and go, you're doing something right. People in the country
that are from
cheering.
there.
Right. Now the questions and the concerns are you kill the leader, they just get another leader. And then they kill that guy. But then there has to be some sort of conversation. And we don't want this going on forever and ever and ever and ever. That's where the question and the concern comes in of how are we going to do this and not be a forever war that goes on for years and years and years. But
fair enough.
Initially, don't hate it.
When I woke up and heard about it, and I think it was overnight when I woke up and heard about it, it just reaffirmed for me, on a personal level, why I voted for this man. Because he's a man's man. He means what he says what he means, and he's no joke. And if you think he's a joke, you'll find out the hard way that he's not a joke. It's as simple as that.
And they're finding out.
and they're finding out.
Finding out.
And Matt Blaze, thank you very much, President Trump. I'm going to tell you folks in a minute about the weekend I had in New Jersey. We're going to get back to your telephone calls in a moment. I'm going to get to New Jersey in a second. But President Trump told the Daily Mail in an interview, and this is per Fox News, that this war with Iran could continue for possibly the next 4 months.
3 service members were killed in those strikes. Right before that announcement, the president told Fox, at some point, you will have casualties. Things will happen. Trump also tells Fox News he knows how many targets are left in Iran, but would not say where those are. He has indicated, though, that these precision strikes we're watching will continue uninterrupted throughout the rest of the week, or as long as necessary, really. And he's warning Iran not to escalate things, as becomes clear overnight that Iran's president is still very much alive. He is vowing revenge for the death of the Ayatollah. Keep that in mind, because the president is also telling The Atlantic today that they want to talk. And I have agreed to talk, so I will be talking to them. The president also releasing a video in which he offered immunity to the IRGC and security forces if they give up. A move that some experts believe could be used to avoid a power vacuum like the one we saw in the Iraq War. Trump is also encouraging the Iranian people, of course, to rise up when the time is right. The president is expected back here at the White House later today. We will see if he comes and talks to the press. It apparently will be the first time that we've seen him speak, hopefully, since these strikes took place late Friday night into the early morning hours of Saturday. John?
Aisha Hasni.
And the president is back at the White House. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm coming right back to Iran in just a moment. We see your telephone calls. I want to divert for a few minutes to New Jersey, where I was this weekend. Had a great time meeting with some folks in terms of a local businessman in Nutley, John Mancini, retired police officer, meeting with a legendary boxer by the name of Bobby Ches, a remarkable story. And he happens to be white. And I asked him, did he consider himself the great white hope? And he was like, no. And this guy won world championships, but now he's battling against cancer. He's in the fight against his life. But he tells me that he looks at it as just another battle, and he's going to beat the battle. I met with a community activist in Nutley, a woman by the name of Lisa Mandarecchio, and she is just phenomenal in terms of the things that she does for the community. Also, I got the opportunity to sit down and talk to Alphonse Petracco, who for Nutley, New Jersey, is the Commissioner of Public Safety. And next week, he'll be the subject of my podcast. But I want you, just for a second, because it's not often that we get to talk to a leader of a law enforcement agency. But he's not just law enforcement. You'll hear it right now. He's law enforcement, EMS, and the fire department. And here's part of my conversation with Mr. Alphonse Petracco, the Commissioner of Public Safety for Nutley, New Jersey. You don't just handle the police, correct?
Right. I'm in charge of police, fire, and the EMTs in Nutley here. Yes.
So you have 3 different agencies, basically.
I do.
And they all report to you?
100%.
What is that like?
Well, it depends on what's going on in our township. I mean, if storms are coming through.
Like recently?
Right, like recently with all the snow, what we do through our fire department is make sure we clear paths. Our DPW does a great job. They do the streets. But let's say we get an ambulance call and there's a 2 foot of snow like there was. Now we have to send our fire department out with our EMTs to clear a path so they could get to the people inside the home. So, we deal with storms. We've dealt with hurricanes in my career. Sandy was a big one. There was a lot of flooding in Nutley. And right now we're dealing a lot with, with the police department, how police are viewed, not only here in Nutley, but all across the country. And it's, cops have a very difficult job with this new bail reform. To all your listeners, Mr. Carter, if, we could send a message to these legislators, it's really a failed experience. It makes our cops job even tougher. Here in Nutley, we don't have the horrific crimes. We don't have murders, homicides, things like that, thank God. But what I call them is quality of life, issues here.
Which are extremely important.
Well, listen, the taxes aren't cheap in our town, like they're not cheap in all of New Jersey. And, when you start interfering with people's, qualities and what they're paying for, the big burden to our Nutley Police Department have been these house break-ins. And what's happening in Nutley and all surrounding towns and all across New Jersey is that, these kids, unfortunately, are breaking into houses to steal your key fobs. And then they, take the car. And, it's just a recipe for disaster. God forbid they walk into the wrong house where, somebody's armed, and, it could get really ugly in a second. And the issue that I have, the big issue I have, is that the Nutley Police Department, along like a lot of outside agencies through New Jersey, they do a great job. And they arrest these kids, mostly juveniles. And before the cop is done with the report, they're back out on the street.
And I hear that with every police department that I talk to. And that's Alphonse Petracco, who's the Commissioner of Public Safety for I almost said Newark, for Nutley, New Jersey. Now, those of you that are reaching out to me on Twitter right now, normally I respond by now. But this is kind of funny, but it's not funny. And I'm coming right back to Mr. Petracco for one more topic on drugs. And then we see all of your telephone calls on Iran. We'll get to them. But I would be responding to your tweets right now, but I can't, because if I turn my cell phone on, you'll hear this beep, 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 because I haven't put back in the meter because I'm diabetic. And sometimes you just get tired of, don't tell Liz in Florida I said this. Sometimes you get tired of wearing these things. Don't shake your head, Blaze. Don't laugh. And sometimes you get tired of wearing these things, and it's a loud alarm. So I got to put it back on. But that's why I can't see your tweets. And I have the computer in front of me, but that means getting off the call screen from your calls, and I'd rather see about your calls. But anyway, let me go back to the Commissioner of Public Safety, Alphonse Petracco. So you know anything about me, you know that I don't hide the fact that my grandfather who was really the only man in my life, was a heroin addict, and he did all the bad things to my family that heroin addicts do. But the silver lining to the story is that when he left this earth clean, and I'm proud of him. I spoke with the Commissioner of Public Safety for Nutley, New Jersey, also about drugs, a topic that is very serious to me, and it's also one that's very serious to him. You actually started a program where if the gateway drug of marijuana, because we know that it is a gateway to other things. I don't care how cute government says it is, it's a gateway drug. But you've got a program to deal with that right now here in Nutley, New Jersey. Right.
We have programs, drug intervention programs as well. I mean, talking about the marijuana law, and none of us are critics here, but by legalizing that, and, to me, it's just a money grab. It's another thing that makes a police officer's job so difficult. You pull over a car, now it's not just the alcohol, now it's the marijuana. We train our officers to recognize the signs if the person is inadequate to drive and to be charged with that. But it's a whole mess of criteria that they have to meet. Chain of events, and again, we don't want people driving drunk. We don't want people, driving high. You're going to hurt yourself, and you're going to, unfortunately, maybe hurt somebody else. And then you have to live with that, the rest of your life. So, me personally, legalizing marijuana, not the right thing to do. And I even hear there's talk about legalizing cocaine now. The government should stick to what they know, and, truthfully, we want to get drugs, off our streets. We don't want to, keep going forward with even harder drugs, and then, as adolescents and I know, I wasn't an angel my whole life. If the government's saying, yeah, you could go buy it at the dispensary and it's legal, is that really the message that we want to send to our youth in America today? And then maybe someday you're going to be able to buy heroin and, cocaine. And we know as adults, we know where those drugs lead to. And it's no place good. And those addictions are very, very hard to stop. Once you taste that and get that into your system, it's a lifetime of burden, not only for the person using, their families, their parents, their cousins, their brothers. There's nothing like seeing somebody go down that path.
And it is indeed a horrible path. Alphonse Pacheco, the Commissioner of Public Safety for Nutley, New Jersey. Back to your telephone calls. Viviana, line 1 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, young lady?
Thank you for taking my call. I absolutely loved your interview with Mr. Pacheco. I wish some of that common sense were here. I used to be, for a little while, I had been a clergy counsel with the police. And when I heard about the despicable and cowardly offense against our New York City finest, I was like really livid. And I said, well, they have to do something or else it's going to embolden the criminals even more. And then you mentioned something, Dominic. We're wondering about these sleeper cells. If the police are not being respected here, where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go to Nassau County, other places. We don't want to lose our best and brightest. So it's about time that the mayor put on his big boy pants and say, you cannot do this to my police officers. And if he doesn't feel like that, then let go. He should let go of his own the detail. If he doesn't think they're so important, let go of his detail. Remember when the protesters were outside of Gracie Mansion? Did he feel like that then? That they weren't, important? No, he wanted protection. So how's he going to tell us that that it was just a boys type of action? That's a juvenile response, and he either needs to be the mayor or he needs to resign, and we need to get a better mayor in.
I couldn't have said it better, Viviana. Thank you for the lovely call. I would love to follow up on what you just said, but I'm very late for a break. I stayed with you because you were making a whole lot of sense. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And back to the phones we go. Line 4, Lou in San Francisco. Lou, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dom. I want to just state that I listen to your station every single night. And Friday night, around midnight, I heard about this bombing in Israel and with Trump and everything else. And I'm scared out of my mind. And I was worried that they would send an atomic bomb to the San Francisco Bay Area. And I'm still scared because we don't know what they have. And the thing I want to say...
Wait. Lou. So this happened Friday into Saturday, right? Has anything happened in the 2 full 24-hour cycles since then?
There's been a lot of activity, but...
No, but you didn't answer my question. You ducked my question.
The answer is yes.
So something has happened. Who was harmed here in America outside of that situation in Austin? You know the answer is no, Lou. I don't have time to debate with you right now. Go ahead.
That is not your main. The point I want to make is
Well, you've been talking quite a bit, saying nothing, Lou. Get to the point.
we are dealing with a bunch of people who are not rational. Okay, they believe in Allah, and they will bomb us with no reason.
I hear you, Lou, but you want to panic just for the sake of panicking. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, I'm scared.
Okay, well, I don't want you to be scared.
I'm calling you because I'm scared. I listen to your station every night, and I'll bet you have a whole bunch of other listeners who are scared because this is a big thing going on, and
It is a big thing. It is a big thing, and there's a lot we don't know. Lou, I got to move on because I only have a short time period. Let's talk again in the future. Let's go to line 3, Charles in Queens. Charles, welcome to the Dominic Carter Show.
Hi. Great show. I want to say that Trump deserves even more credit than is obvious. Politically, it would have been much wiser for him to do nothing because if anything, God forbid, goes out of hand, this whole situation, then it would hurt him in the midterm elections, God forbid.
Correct.
Say for nothing,
Correct.
Same thing, but he said he wouldn't let Iran have the bomb. And also
this is what you call real leadership, period.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Charles, thank you so much for the wonderful call. Let's go to Pete, line 2, New Jersey. Pete, welcome to the Dominic Carter Show.
Hi, Dominic. The sheep is an animal known to be kind of a dumb creature, does nothing for itself. It's skittish, nervous, and it follows...
Pete, I got 40 seconds left. What is your point?
My point is that the human population has often been compared with the sheep.
Okay, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Thank you for the call, Pete. We got to do a better job screening some of the calls. Folks, Pete, I'm only joking. Don't be sensitive on me. I'll see you at 3 p.m.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.